So let's take a look at the access protection policy. By default, we have our default policy of Gannett Low. And here's your policy. All policies will have an option for the workstation or the server. So this is important to remember. If you're trying to change something on the server, you need to physically toggle over and protect it. The access protection default is the same for servers and workstations. The top level just merely identifies that this is enabled and that McAfee services cannot be stopped. When you click on the category, the options appear in the right-hand pane. There is the options to block and report on each individual rule. For antivirus standard, the 3 rules that we're blocking on are preventing the remote creation of autorun files. We're preventing the mass mailing of worms. That's basically a port 25 block. And we're blocking IRC ports 6666 through 6669. In terms of the mass mailing, there is a policy called Gannett Low Allow SMTP for servers primarily. So if you have servers that send automated emails, you can apply that policy to those machines. Antivirus maximum control, nothing enabled here, and you can take a look at these options. The same is true for outbreak control, nothing enabled. The common standard protection, this is merely some additional lockdown of McAfee settings and prevents tampering with McAfee. There is a policy called INT troubleshooting McAfee disabled that you can use if you need to turn off McAfee servers as part of troubleshooting. In common maximum protection, nothing enabled. We've simply are reporting on the launching of files from the downloaded programs folder. The same is true for VM protection. We're just reporting on that now to determine if we need to make some additional settings for VMware. And lastly, you do have the ability to create your own user-defined rules for any executable, port, or process. Again, with the Gannett defaults, you're not able to create those, but if you wanted to do that, you would simply duplicate this policy, and then this would be not grayed out, and you could click on New. It's a very simple process to do. And that is the access protection policy. Let's look at the on-access default policies and the Gannett default. The key items are the scan items, and for workstations, we're pretty much looking at everything. We're looking at reads and writes. We're looking at all file types. We're looking for unwanted programs and Trojans, macros. We are not looking inside of any zips or other compressed files, and we are enabling detecting unwanted programs. On the server side, essentially the same, although we've unchecked open for backup since that can hinder some backup performance. Under exclusions, we just have one exclusion so far for a Dell utility on the workstation side, and that's worked fine for over 5,000 machines. On the server side, we do have a standard list of exclusions based on best practices from both McAfee and Microsoft. You can scroll through and see the different file types. They should make sense to you. We have some exclusions for Exchange and some other common server type products. Again, if you need additional exclusions, you would then duplicate this policy and then you can add your own exclusions. And finally, there's the actions. We have it attempt to clean. If it can't clean it, it deletes the file. So that is the on-access scanning default policy. As I said, there is the option to define policies as high risk and low risk. We do not do that. We treat all policies the same, and it makes it simpler, so we do not use those. As I mentioned, email scanning policies not enabled. Quarantine Manager, we haven't really used that fully, and that's set on low. Let's take a look at unwanted programs. This is set at high. We do have, let's take a look at the unwanted programs policy. As you can see, it has different categories, and they're all enabled. You do have the ability to specify specific inclusions should you want to. We have seen, and you can go over here and define those user-defined items. Again, with this default, you're not able to do that, but if you wanted to create your own, which many business units have, then you simply duplicate the policy down here and go for that. There are a number of locations that use VNC or other remote administration tools, so there is a Gannett default policy that allows remote administration. So if you use those tools, then you should change your group to use that policy rather than the Gannett High. The last thing is the user interface policy, and you can take a look at that. It has various options of how you want this displayed, the system tray, and you can take a look at that. Those are the main policies that you can take a look at that. Remember, if you want to edit the assignments for at any level of your EPO tree, you can click on Edit Assignments and go from there. You can also modify the policies on a single system. For example, if you needed to troubleshoot a machine and you wanted to temporarily disable the McAfee access protection, you can check on the machine, you can look down here on your menu, and if it doesn't display, go down to More Actions and choose Modify Policies on a Single System. You'll see you'll get the same interface. The blue bar will tell you exactly where you're modifying it, and in this case we want to modify access protection. We go in here and edit. We're going to break the inheritance, and then you slow down here, and as I mentioned, there's one called Ant Troubleshooting Unprotect McAfee. You hit Save, and there you've done. Okay, so that's a quick look at policies.